What's going on, beautiful people? We are back again with another Mental Max Out podcast. I'm your host, Akeem Robinson. And for those of you joining us for the first time, thanks for checking it out. Mental Max Out is all about helping people change their perspectives, think differently, and get out of the hole. If you're back again, I celebrate your willingness to continue growing and challenging your mind. Remember, if you like what you hear today, make sure you hit that subscribe button or whatever platform you're listening from. Share it with a friend and follow us on social media at Mental Max Out Podcast. What's going on, beautiful people? We're back again, and I'm always excited to just share these moments with my wife.
Happy to be here with you, my dear.
It's a fun time.
And we are, at the time of this recording, Serena is awakening from her non-nap that she did not take, and we are going to get it in where it fits in because we don't want to be inconvenienced after she goes to bed tonight, and we want to eat popcorn and watch Scandal. So yes, we're getting it in during this non-nap time.
Yeah, I want to see Olivia Pope fix some stuff.
Right now we're rewatching Scandal, and it's great because, you know, we love a good rewatch. We're the couple that watches the same 5 shows around the year: Scandal, Modern Family, New Girl.
Yeah, we don't have a large rotation, but
new seasons of The Voice and The Masked Singer, and sports and things like that. But quite frankly, we are very simple folk, and so we are happy to be here. And if we are talking in a fast, anxious way, it is because we're looking at Serena on the monitor, staring right into the camera, wondering why she can hear us and can't see us.
It's like cut red or blue wire, and we're trying to diffuse the situation. As you all know, and if you don't know, and today's your first day, you were talking to Dr. Robinson.
Okay, brag on yourself a little bit.
Come on now, I'm going to pat myself up. Just a little bit.
Go ahead, flex on him.
Just a little bit. But yeah, so Dr. Robinson, and one of the things about the whole getting your PhD process, once you defend the defense, you have to get your paper edited, and not by your committee, but by an editor. And so you have to vet these people. And so for a week, we vetted different editors, and we...
Mostly when he says vetted, it's name your price, and and the lowest price is right.
Yeah, so great value or whatever.
Yeah, the Equate brand of editors.
Yeah, whatever store you go to and you're like, I'm going to get this off-brand one, but it's still expected.
But she's been great. It's like when you go to Walmart, shout out New Mexico State for the Fruit Smiles, because, the Fruit Smiles fruit snacks are superior, but nobody would think that because they're the Great Value brand. And your editor is superior.
She is superior, killing it.
She's creating a little bit more work for you.
Creating a little bit more work. Because my paper before the editor was 107 pages. And now, since after the editor, it's at 115 before I get to references. And when she sent me back the edits, not only did she make edits, but I had 331 corrections that I had to make with very blunt descriptions of, this is awkward, this is confusing, you need to fix it. Because she just doesn't know what I was thinking at the time.
And neither do you.
And neither did I. Because it was, you know what I'm saying? It was a baby about to wake up, 3 a.m, still trying to stay married. You know, the usual stuff, right? That you're dealing with. The first thought that I had when she sent this back was, this is so inconvenient. And I was bothered. Yes, I've passed the defense. Yes, I've spent 4 years in this whole program, and I will walk across the stage. But when I got these corrections back, I was inconvenienced, and I was a little upset.
Because you were done, chill until graduation, did my paper, thinking it's going to come back, add a period, add a comma. You forgot your parentheses. You did not think you were going to have this sentence doesn't make sense, and then you were going to have to reformat a little paragraph to make it make sense.
Yes. I've had to write literally 3 full paragraphs throughout the paper sometimes, just because the context of what I was writing didn't make sense.
And you said this before, now that you're a doctor, the work is not done. You're going to continue to do research. You're going to continue to perfect your craft, be in the consulting business and do what you're going to do and work with people. So you're going to constantly be learning because the work is never done. But when somebody else is putting work on you,
correct,
it's different. It's different when other people are putting things on your plate. It's when you go to a barbecue, right? And, it's the end of the night or whatever, and people are getting their to-go plates ready. And it's those barbecues, we've all been to them, where the host pre-builds the to-go plates and already covers them with foil, and you don't get to pick what you want to go. It's like, no, I don't want to take your garden salad to go. I want to take the mac and cheese to go.
Correct.
But because they were trying to be all cute, they were like, okay, I'm going to give every little guest a little bit of everything.
I don't want that.
Like, no. But that's kind of what happened with this paper situation, is like, you were inconvenienced because somebody else was like, hey, you still have more work to do. And
that's the thing. When we face inconveniences sometimes, they're actually meant to better us.
No.
They are. They really are. They're meant to better us, because she's making these corrections and she could have easily just ignored all of those. But it's actually helping me, but I'm looking at it as an inconvenience. It's actually going to make my paper better, and it actually has made my paper better.
Okay. But here's the thing.
Okay.
Because, yes, had she not done it, you would have published a paper and looked like a boob, because it would have been a hot mess express.
A bad boob.
So she is helping you.
Yes.
But for you to have the wherewithal, to have the perspective, to say, you know what, this is slightly inconveniencing, but it's a blessing, and I'm thankful. How did you get to that point? Because I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think that.
Well, first of all, thank you for giving me middle-aged white woman voice when you did the, you know what? Because when I did feel the inconvenience, I was like, ain't this about a blip? But so that's how I really felt. Yeah, that's how I really felt. So thank you for giving me middle-aged white woman inconvenience. Honestly, it really was how I looked at it, because I knew the finish line was right there. It felt good to know that the finish line is right there, and this person who we vetted, cheapest one on the market, was helping me get to that. They're not keeping me away from it. They could have easily been like, your paper's great. That wouldn't have been the case. And so they're helping me get to the finish line, and I truly believe in a lot of our inconveniences, if we just change how we looked at it and said to ourselves, you know what? That's okay. You know what? I did need an extra 10 minutes, or I did have this not go for me the way I wanted to, but now I can look at it this way. They wouldn't be inconveniences. We can actually use them as lessons. I'm not going to lie to you. The lesson that I'm taking away from this paper is, I thought I had attention to detail, but this person has attention to detail. And not only that, but it's actually helping me bring out the message of what I'm trying to help somebody else with down the line. Now, when I think about it like that, it isn't an inconvenience. It's actually, now I can really help that one person think about their life differently. You asked this magical question. You were like, how did you get to that point?
Yeah, because my thing is, like, I walked through the door, I was driving home today, and I was like, man, today was a tough day. A tough day because there's lots of things going on. I found myself throughout the day, because I had a mission of what I wanted to accomplish today at work, that every kind of curveball that was thrown at me of like, hey, this thing and this other thing, and all cool things, all things I'm excited about at work, but because it prevented me from getting done what I wanted to get done, I couldn't hear it. I couldn't see it. I was over it. I was irritated. I was just like, no. I want to have this conversation, but not today. To my boss, I really want to talk about this program or this new thing that we want to do, or this mission or whatever, but can we do it next week? Because right now, because of the things on the plate for this week, I can't focus on what you're saying. I find myself wondering, is that an okay thought process? Because at what point is it an inconvenience? But then at the other point, is it, how do you take control over what your bandwidth can handle?
So you said this, and I love this. You was like, of what my plate can handle. And you ever heard the saying when people say, man, my eyes were bigger than my stomach? Mm-hmm. And I think that's how we become inconvenienced. Mm-hmm. We try to look at the food and we say, I can eat that. I can eat that. I want to take that on. I want to take that on.
I do that.
And then when we do that, and we start to get overwhelmed and start to get full, we're like, I can't take all of this food.
It's like when we go. It's like when we go to my mom's at Christmas. Hi, Mom, and she's like, I got Akeem this treat, and I got Akeem this treat, and I got him this candy and these snacks and these Ritz crackers, and my mom is like, you're a bear hibernating, because she's previously seen what your plate can handle.
Yes.
So that sometimes now when you're like, no, Mama Ann, like I don't want to eat all that.
Yeah.
She's confused because she's like, oh, but you ate all this last Christmas, and you're like, yeah, but. You know, I was a little bit heavier 5 years ago,
Yes.
and I ain't trying to be that heavy anymore. But she's seen what your plate can handle, so she continues
To add more to it.
Because she thinks that that's what is gonna, be good for you. And I feel like that happens a lot in the workplace, or even as parents, or like in relationships. You've seen what I've been able to do before. And you may not know that I was that, video of the duck that looks graceful on top of the water, but is like really kicking fast under the water. You have no idea that that's how I got through it the first time. And I don't have any desire to go back to that.
Correct.
Unless you communicate it. Or unless you figure out a way to set boundaries. I can't take that on right now. The ability to say I can't take that on right now, not because it's going to be an inconvenience to you, but because, quite frankly, if you continue to take things on, you will be inconvenienced, and it'll bleed into other areas of your life.
Yeah, no question. And not only would it bleed into other areas of your life, it then starts to affect your well-being, how you communicate with other people. And so now, not only are you now inconvenienced, people are now inconvenienced by you and your crappy attitude and how you look at it. One of the things about being inconvenienced, sometimes it's for your benefit. It is for your benefit. One of the biggest inconveniences I have is when my loving wife gives me that look across the room when I'm about to eat my 4th cookie or my 5th cupcake, or I'm about to go back for my 3rd plate of food, and she gives me that look like, are you sure you want to do that? And I'm talking about, if you're listening right now, we used to get in arguments. I'm not a kid. Stop telling me when to stop eating. Now I'm looking at her like the third base coach, and I'm like, tell me when to swing, please, coach. Tell me when I'm done.
I'm like, hold up. Don't round second, hold up.
Because I need that. And so sometimes I'm putting myself in the realm of inconvenience on purpose.
Take yesterday, for example. You had a smoothie, but you didn't have any food. And I was like, hey, I saved, I meal prep, so I saved you some food. So I was like, hey, I saved you this stuff for you to have as some food to eat. On the flip side of telling you, hey, don't eat, all the cookies or all the cupcakes. Sometimes I have to tell you, hey, I know you don't want to, and this may seem like an inconvenience to you. I know you don't want to, but you should probably eat something today. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I think it's just the way that we're looking at it, because you could have looked at it like, oh, now I got to make this bowl, and now I got to do this, and now I got to do that. But it's like, at the end of the day, it's to help you, right? And so like so many things in our life that we automatically look at as negatives, or we automatically look at, like I did today at work, of like, no, I don't have time for this. Well, why? Do you have 5 minutes to have this conversation? And can you put a note somewhere where you can get to it when you do have the ability to spend time? That's a completely different way to look at it than, no, I can't believe they're going to put this on my plate. I'm so inconvenienced. I don't have time. I can't do this. I can't do that. Versus, hey, let me just find a spot for this to go for right now. It might be on the corner of my plate. I might put it in the refrigerator and come back to it later, but it's important, and I want to make sure I get it. It's like, we got married. We had cupcakes, not cake. And I was really excited about 2 flavors, the chocolate toffee and the lemon blueberry. And so I made sure that I got one of each of those cupcakes, and I set it on my little place setting at the table. And I ate the chocolate toffee one. And after that, a friend came over to me and asked me to dance. And thank you, Dan, for doing that. However, I left my cupcake, my lemon blueberry cupcake there.
You did.
I never went back for it. I think about it frequently. I probably bring it up at least twice a month.
No question.
Because
easily
I left it with hopes of eating it, and I never got to it.
Never got back to it.
And like, I think about that frequently. Mm-hmm. I just think it's important to know that you can set stuff aside for later.
The funny thing about that story is that's the 1,000,000th time I've heard that story. And I hear that story all the time. I never got my cupcake. But the thing is, sometimes you have to put things off to the side, yes, because there's more important things. That person did not have to come to our wedding. That person did not have to come and celebrate that moment. So sometimes, and I know what you're probably thinking if you're listening to this point. Man, they talking about food a lot. So if you're getting hungry, please just come on back. We gonna be here.
Go grab a snack.
We're gonna be here. But no, we love to speak in analogies because they kind of help bring a clearer picture of what we're talking about. I think in a lot of situations in our lives, we think we have to do everything right now. We think we have to check off every box, get to the spot, make it to where we're going because it has to happen right now or it's a bust. And that is not the case. And the more you think like that, there will be more inconveniences that happen in your life. So that's why we're talking about these food analogies so much, because when you put something in the fridge, you don't think about how long it's going to last. You just put it in the fridge because you know it'll be back there when you go back. In some of our projects, our goals, our have-tos and to-dos, we can do that. We can put them off to the side.
The definition of convenient, I just Googled this for those of you listening, says fitting in well with a person's needs, activities, or plans, involving little trouble or effort, situated so as to allow easy access to, and occurring in a place or at a time that is useful. Occurring in a place or a time that is useful. And I feel like if we could control everything, we could control when things occur. And I think that that's the key of, for it to be convenient, it has to be at your time. And nothing ever happens on your time.
Nothing.
That's not how life works.
No.
If we're constantly searching for our lives to be filled with convenience, it's 2024. It is not going to happen. Sometimes we can't even see the blessings, the positive things, the excitement, the joys, the celebration, because they're happening in inconvenient times.
And I think the reason why we say that is because we truly are looking at it saying, this is bothering me. This is affecting me. What has helped me the most is stop thinking about me. Stop thinking about how it's checking off my boxes. I just truly try to think of, how is this helping Allison? How is this helping Serena? How is this helping our family? And when I think like that, I really don't get inconveniences much. Or when I am, it doesn't last as long. Because the worst kind of situation you want to be in is if something happens to you in the morning and you're at night.
The worst.
And now you're at night still thinking about the same thing.
I do that to a T. Without fail. I think I used to be a lot worse, where something would happen early on in the day and I would be like, ugh, the day's ruined. The whole day is ruined.
Yeah.
My juice was this, or this dish wasn't done, or I forgot to thaw the chicken. Oh, the day is ruined because it did not occur at a place and time that I wanted it to. And I think it's so hard to change that mindset because we want to feel in control of our lives, of our situation. There's so many things around us that we can't control, that when you identify one area that you feel like you have control in, for me, it's like, okay, I'm going to cook dinner tomorrow, and that's going to be kind of my grounding force. Then I forget to take the chicken out of the freezer. So my one thing that I've identified as the grounding force is now out the window. Like, how do I bounce back from that? What is the bounce back?
I give myself a mantra, and I'm giving it to you for free. There are no such thing as bad days, only bad moments.
That was good. Repeat that.
There are no such thing as bad days, only bad moments. And I think when you look at it through that lens, you truly gain power over your day. Because now you can tell yourself, that was a bad moment. As a stay-at-home dad expert, not by any chance am I an expert. This little girl is running me ragged. But there are times where Serena is screaming because she wants to be picked up. And then when I pick her up, she wants to be put down. And then when I put her down, she wants both. And she is livid. I can't tell myself, this is a bad day, because I still have to spend the rest of the day with her and be her guardian, be her protector, be the driving force, and the one in control of the situation. I cannot lose my mind because somebody's already losing their mind. I have to guide them through it. So that's just a bad moment. And I think when you now carry that over into your own life, there are times where we didn't get the deadline. We didn't get the promotion we thought. Things didn't pan out the way we wanted it to. But is that truly that bad day? Is that going to set the rest of the week for you, the rest of your life for you? Because there's so many other things in place that when you look at it, maybe there was a reason for that. Maybe there was a time for it happening that way. Truly, I know what I'm saying to some of you is kind of like, huh? Truly, truly, truly. If you start to look at it as a bad moment, your days get better. But if you constantly looking at it as a bad day, it's never going to change.
I love that because I think that, well, one, that's great advice for everybody listening and myself who continue to fall into the trap of being like, oh, the day is ruined at 9 a.m. But I think that right after we had Serena and we were still pumping, I was still pumping.
Yeah, I was about to say, I wasn't pumping, y'all. Hold on.
I was still pumping. It was tough. It was a tough experience, and to just fill 2 ounces in a bottle was a feat for me. I very vividly remember one tired evening, pumped, finally filled the bottle 2 ounces, and then I spilled it.
Oh yeah, I remember that day.
And my husband does not miss a beat from the couch, from the living room, in the most like calm tone, not funny, not condescending, not happy, sad, positive, nothing. He just says, I guess where that's the saying comes from, don't cry over spilt milk. And me, in my postpartum storm of craziness, wanted to just walk over there and like, can't say it on this podcast, can't have record of it, but I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I know this man did not just, guess that's why they call it can't cry over spilt milk.
It was such an aha moment for me that like, I was like, oh, that's why they're talking about it.
A year later, right, we can laugh about it, and he's right. There are so many things in life that we work ourselves up to think are this huge, massive deal. Or we work ourselves up into thinking, oh, this is this and this is that. When it doesn't happen the way we planned for it to happen, when it doesn't look the way we want it to look, we automatically go into that negative mindset of, well, it's ruined. Well, this sucks. Well, there's nothing good from this. Every situation has something positive to pull from it. Mm-hmm. Your paper is going to be incredible when it's done. Right now, it's work. Right now, it's a feat for you to have to kind of go back into the brain trust to be able to pull the things out. But when it's done, it'll be beautiful. And the projects that stress me out at work, when it's done, it will be beautiful. But there's always something positive. You just sometimes have to find it, and it's harder than other situations. Sometimes it just takes more work to find the positive.
I love when you said there will always be something positive, because that's so hard to believe. I remember before Serena was born, I was like, hey, should we get some formula? And I got my head chopped off.
And rightfully so.
And I want to say this to all the moms out there, to all the caregivers out there, and people loving someone and caring for someone. It is not easy, and all heroes don't wear capes. And I'm going to tell you, when we had to go to formula and we had to do that, the positive is, fast forward to a full year now, I think that contributed a little bit to my bonding with Serena. Because if we were exclusively breastfeeding, I would not have been the one giving her milk. I would not have been the one to wake up sometimes and prepare the bottle. So that maybe could have affected our relationship for the future. There's times where now she hears my voice and she comes running over there because we have developed a bond. I'll be honest with you, that bond has helped me. It has helped build some and diminish some traumas that I've had as a child. And so there's always a positive in it. And sometimes it's not going to be in that moment you're going to see it. It's not going to be the next day, but there's going to be some beautiful things from it. You just have to be willing to be patient while you're in the middle of that storm sometimes.
No, you're absolutely right. I think that's beautiful. Can you repeat the mantra for them again? Because I really loved.
It's funny. Yeah, that's an original Mental Max Out. By the way, follow the page of Mental Max Out on Instagram. There's no such thing as bad days, only bad moments. So the next time, and I didn't say maybe, the next time you are in a bad situation, it is just a bad moment, not a bad day.
Don't cry over spilt milk.
Don't do it.
Thank you for listening. We hope that you tune in next week, every Tuesday morning.
Same time, same bad channel. Thank you for joining us on this exciting episode of Mental Max Out. We hope today's discussion has empowered you with the insights and tools to overcome the challenges of depression, fear, and doubt. Always remember that you have a support system on this journey, And every step you take is a step forward towards victory. If you found this episode helpful, make sure to subscribe and leave us a review. We greatly appreciate your feedback as it allows us to continually provide you with the content that is most valuable to you. Stay connected with us on Instagram at Mental Max Out Podcast for a constant source of motivation, helpful advice, and a supportive community. Until the next time, keep pushing forward, and remember, you have the strength within you to max out your potential. Take care and stay strong.